So this is really an optional video if you want to see how we go about adding the new forms so that we can have things like adding new usernames, updating password, changing details. So you can see I already got the add new student button on my admin page. So I want to have two more buttons to add more functionality. So I want to drag that on, right click, and I want to update password. And I can make this look pretty later, not really fussed about making it look great at the moment. And remember also to change the variable name for that one. So I'll call it jButton1 update password so that my readability is good. Now, if you have made elements for your page, you can copy and paste them. Not always the best idea, but just to know you can do it. I don't know how that did that, but that was interesting. It just means that you then need to go back and change parts, but I guess if you've customized the colours and fonts and things like that one, but what you need to be careful of is the fact that I've pasted that button and this is probably the one that's been changed. Can you see it's added the update password 1 to that one because I copy pasted it. Now in some cases it's useful if you want to have an array of buttons and so on, but you've got to be really careful. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're trying to speed things up you could do it. Okay, so what I need to do, these are all my admin pages, and what I want to do is create forms for the rest of them. There are other ways to do this where you could have frames that could appear, disappear. There's a lot more you could do in terms of GUIs, but I'm just trying to find the simplest way for us at the moment to kind of introduce the basics, but there are other better ways to do it that if you spend some time researching it, I'm sure you will. So I want to create 3 new forms, so I'll do them one at a time. So I want to right click and choose new, and I want a JFrame form, and this one we'll call it new user. Finish, and let's just see if from the admin form if we can copy between. Just try and keep my theme going. You can copy different objects. May have to redo some parts. So let's do new user. Now on this new user page, I'll set it up really quickly, and we'll double click. I didn't mean to double click, sorry, I meant to right click and to add user button, and I want to change the variable name to add user, and for a new user we will need some text fields to allow us to type things in. Now I would probably spend a bit more time setting this up. So for this one, username, edit the text that's in there, enter username here. Now we could have labels next to them, but I'll just be really lazy and just get the basic parts added up. Again, if you wanted to make something that's a bit more functional and a bit more user friendly, you should take some time there. We'll call this one forename, edit the text on there, enter forename, and then we'll have another one, and keep double clicking, edit the text, enter surname, and we will change the variable name for that to surname. And if you want to do it really properly, which I will have a text field, not a text field, sorry. So right click and delete that one. What we want to have is a password field if we're doing it it depends how secretive you want to be when a user's typing that in. So I've changed the text on that just to be blank because it annoys me slightly when there's stuff in there before we start typing. JPassword field, I'll just call it password1, and then we will want a second one so that they can verify it's correct, and we can add some proper validation here. So edit the text on that, get rid, and change the variable name to password2. So now that one's set up. When we should probably do it as we go along before we add in lots extra. On the exit button, we can see that the code's already in. That was actually a useful accident. I copy-pasted that, and it's taking me back to the login form. I don't really want to go back to the login form. I want to go back to the admin form, so I'll just change that code just real quick. Should be easy enough to just change it, and let's just change it to AF. Not that that matters really, it's just for naming purposes really. When we click that new user button, we will need to do lots in terms of like querying the database, etc. Query and add. So we'll come back and do that code in the next video. In terms of the design, the exit button is going to take us there. Admin form, when we want to add new student, if we double click this button, we obviously then want to load up new user form and dispose of this one. So we can do new user new equals new user. We want to do new dot set visible true, this dot dispose. Equals new user. Should probably have named that with capitals if I was following proper conventions. That was an oversight there. Let's test that that one's working real quick. From the admin window, so do admin, login should take us to new admin page with the buttons we've got. Update password, change grade not working. Add new student takes us to the add new student page. Add user button not working. We can change it so that it sets it in the middle on the setup of the other pages to make sure it loads in the middle. We'll fix that for next time. Exit button takes us back to the main admin page. Exit, and then we can quit the full program. So the reason why it didn't load is probably because we don't have the location set in the constructor. So let's go back to source and check if we need to add, yeah, so if we add that line into the constructor for new user, it will set that up for us. Looking at the next one, we want to have an update password field, which is the same. I'll just make that real quick. So because I want to have a different GUI object on there. So a new JFrame, sorry, wrong one, new JFrame form. And I'll make sure I capitalize this one, and this one's going to be update password. Finish that off, and I mean I just want to have quick label on here, update, and possibly the most time-consuming part is making that look nice. But you can go in and change the properties on that one. You can change the background color by clicking the little dots, change that to a different one. You could go back in and change the font to whichever font you're using throughout your project. Pop that in there. You can make it bigger, smaller. You can change it so that it's central. What else do we need here? I'm going to need a button that's going to allow me to update password, which again will query the database, check it's okay, etc. So let's change the variable name of that one to call it update password. And the reason I wanted to have that one is I want to use this combo box. We'll try and use the combo box to get the password. So we see this comes up jcombo box usernames. Now, rather than allow us to type in usernames that don't exist, I will use that in order to allow us to set it up. And again, you can change the properties, you can have all these different things, which we'll look at in the next video. And then similarly, like last time, we'll need a password field and another password field to type in that new password. Again, it looks absolutely disgusting because I haven't really worried about changing anything. I'll pop up the exit button up here, and we will change the variable name of that one. Again, putting that in. Now, if we double click that button, you can remember that needs to take us the same way as the new user one takes us back. So we'll just go and get that code from that to load the admin form. Let's see, when we click the exit button, we want to go back there. We can also go back and get the part from the constructor to set the location. So back to update password, into the constructor, and again back to admin form. Whenever we go back to design now to update password, we want to have the same idea in here. We want to load update password, new update password, up.setVisible, true, this.dispose, and when we run it, hopefully when we log in as admin, we'll have two of those buttons taking us to the correct form. So the add new student we checked already. Let's go back, update password. We can see we can do things on here. It looks really grey and horrible. Update password, no functionality, but the exit button is taken to the main page, and the change grade not functioning yet either. But obviously, we just wanted to do a video on setting up forms. Now, in the next video, I'm going to spend a bit of time making the change grade form as well, but I'm not going to worry about making it look pretty, because that's something that can be spent on your own time and is hopefully straightforward enough that you don't need any help with it.